Welcome to Your World Within Daily. I'm Eddie Pinero. In this episode, we're going to talk about Mark Manson's principle that yes, motivation creates action, but maybe more importantly is action creating motivation. So I guess chronologically, the way that we tend to think about motivation, the way we tend to think about, being inspired to do X, Y, or Z, right? To take over the world. It starts with a glimmer of hope, an idea, something to get you out of bed, something to get you rolling, a motivational concept. And then from there, the action sort of occurs, right? Steps are taken. Well, in Mark Manson's book, which I just read on the other podcast, and it's not a big deal for 99.9% of the world, but I'm just going to give a disclaimer. I always picture like a mom going to school with her kids and like me just dropping an F-bomb and her being like, oh my God. So I just, it's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And it's an interesting book because it's not about what you'd think, right? It's not a book about not caring. It's a book about caring about the right things. I talk about essentialism all the time. It's pretty much essentialism, but wittier and kind of a more fun read. But Mark talks about this concept, and I really like the way it's articulated, right? Motivation, and then you act, right? But he says, no, sometimes it's just doing. And then you become motivated. The answer is in the steps, right? The encouragement, the self-belief, it manifests by just moving, by just trusting yourself to figure it out. And it's funny. I mean, it's nothing that we haven't talked about before on this podcast, but the more I've been, diving into this genre of books, there's only, I swear to you, like 5 concepts, and they're just dressed up and it's all about how they're told in the stories. And this one happened to really hit home with me. You can wait for the motivation and then hope to act, or you can act and let the motivation come to you. You can be the creator, you can be the doer, and you're just in control that way. And first thing I did was think about, well, Eddie, have you ever implemented this? And yeah, there's been a million times where it's almost like the thing where you don't know exactly what to do, so you sit and you plan and you're overly methodical and you wait, as opposed to just trying something and then you get like a little glimpse of, oh, okay, this could work, and then that alone is a spark, right? You are in a way manufacturing wins. And I've always loved that. Just like a baseball team manufactures runs, right? You can win a game by bunting, stealing second. A sac fly takes you to third, and you get home without a hit ever, right? But you're being proactive and you're moving. And I wanted to talk about that today as kind of it's just a touch of reality. Moving without really knowing sometimes. Because as Mark alludes to, we tend to think that the world has the answers and it doesn't. And we tend to think that everyone's right and they're not, right? Life is a game about figuring it out. That's really what it is. It's a giant puzzle, pieces everywhere, chaos, mayhem, right? And it's like you have a choice. Are you going to be courageous enough to take some of those pieces and just start to make sense of them? Start to tell your story. Start to articulate what means the most to you. And from some concentrated effort, whatever it is for you, right? I can do a little mini list of ideas, right? Whether it's a business, whether it's maybe you want to start a project, maybe it's you want to take a class, maybe it's asking someone out, maybe it's leaving something that you've been doing, maybe it's changing, just beginning, right? Taking that one step and seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, and you become invigorated by the little wins. It's that snowball effect, right? So, long story short, as Mark states, don't wait for the motivation to take action. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you do get motivated and you jump off the couch and you go. And that's fantastic, right? Life's not black and white. It's not one size fits all, certainly. But more importantly, and probably more common, is really creating that for yourself. Taking initiative, taking action, which creates, just by the law of averages, right? It'll create some type of win at some point that you can build off of. That can be your launch pad. And that's what it's about. You get nothing sitting down theorizing. Right? Life is a combination of thinking and doing, right? Of learning and taking action. And hey, what a better day than right now. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Hope you got something from it. If you did, please subscribe, rate, and review. Helps me get it out to the world. And that, my friends, is everything. So thank you. And I will catch you tomorrow morning.